Hi, my name is John Sluter. I'm a lawyer in California. This video is about what appears to be the targeted shooting of a news reporter. This took place in early June in Los Angeles at the protests about the roundup of immigrants. Let's take a look at the video. The video appears to show the officer firing his weapon that discharges rubber bullets at high velocity. Let's look at some screenshots of the shooting of the reporter Lauren Tomasi. Here you see her as she's making her report. You see a line of officers in the background, and the officer on the end of that line closest to her is the one you should pay attention to. He seems to be turning his attention here from across the street toward her. And now he is lifting his gun and aiming it directly at her. At least it's pointed at her. There you see the smoke from the discharge of his weapon. You see her now responding to the bullet strike. I understand it was in the back of her leg. The smoke is clearing, but we never get a better view of that officer, and the film becomes blurry now because the camera operator responds naturally to the dangerous escalation of the situation, and the camera turns in another direction. So what can we conclude so far? Basically nothing. We have the video, and the video looks damning to the actions of the LAPD that day, or at least one of the officers of the LAPD. And I'm assuming from the dark uniforms that it is LAPD. But we haven't heard from that officer. We don't know what he would say if he were called upon to defend his actions. And I know from my history as a criminal defense attorney that sometimes cases look real bad, and it doesn't look like there's any oxygen for a defense of the person charged with a crime or with some civil defalcation. But then when you sit down and talk to the person who's at the center of the accusations, it turns out that there's a pretty good defense. Now, I'm not saying this is going to happen here. Like most people, I'm looking at this video and I'm thinking this is just a wanton targeting of a reporter, but I don't know that, and the officer, like anybody else, deserves to be heard if he chooses to speak. That's just fundamental to the way that American justice operates. But at the very least, there needs to be an investigation. Now, I would be surprised if the officer were vindicated. I've been surprised before, and sometimes I've been surprised and disappointed at the same time. I hope that doesn't happen this time. But it should be a broad investigation, because not only should the motive and the acts of that officer be explored in detail, but there should also be a broader investigation to determine whether the culture of that unit or that agency somehow contributed to the what appears to be the targeting of a journalist, a hostility to the reporting on this incident. But if it turns out that what appears to happen really happened, but the agency itself or the unit that that officer is assigned to is not guilty of any suggestions that might lead to the targeting of reporters, then this nation needs to do some soul searching, and it needs to investigate whether comments online or in the media or from political leaders contribute to a situation, contribute to a culture in which it seems to be legitimate to take violent actions against people guilty of only one thing, attempting to report truthfully concerning what's happening in front of them.